Ladies and gentlemen, last week we commemorated the tricentennial of the Peace Treaty of Utrecht in 1713. We now understand that Utrecht was chosen as the premises for the peace negotiations primarily because the city was well governed. Its avenues were broad enough to allow carriages to bypass one another with ease, while the negotiating diplomats could be accommodated in spacious and luxurious houses all over the city. In short, the diplomats found themselves in pleasurable conditions in this city, and this must no doubt have whetted their appetites to do this more often. In this very clever way, Utrecht set the stage for a new trend in achieving peace. The city can be justifiably satisfied of properly engineering the right negotiating conditions so different from the battlefield. Within the framework of this tricentennial, many scientific, philosophical, and practical issues come together to be studied and discussed. There is a convergence of rather diverse topics, and each of us should feel proud and privileged to be able to contribute to this meeting. There is the concept of peace and of a negotiated peace, a concept that all of us can easily identify with. There is the intermediate role of diplomacy. How do men and women representing nation states that have been at each other's throats reach compromise and an accommodation that each of those states is ready to accept and even defend? Down the road, there is also the International Penal Court, where some of you will debate later on. The values underlying the 300 years old treaty can easily be related to the name of Edward Said, a man, a scientist, and a friend whose thinking we honor this week. A man who very much made us appreciate the need to value, to cherish, and, as often as not, to admire the culture of the other. A man also, I hasten to add, that my organization, the Rabbani Foundation, is very proud to be associated with. This association is through the name of our founder, Mahmoud Rabbani, the father of our current chairman, Salim Rabbani, who is currently traveling in the Middle East and cannot join us today, but who hosted a wonderful lunch on Saturday, and he sends his sincere regrets. In particular, he sends those regrets to Marim Said, a personal friend who, in her own right, not did an introduction, but made a keynote speech at the beginning of this meeting, but who herself is a tireless advocate of promoting mutual understanding, particularly through culture and the arts, the material and the immaterial arts and culture. When I say culture, as a key to mutual understanding and appreciation, I refer to a far more encompassing concept than just the arts. Of course, music was very much the focus of the previous speech, but cultural identity is the result of the geological, climatic, and demographic conditions which shaped nations. Our food, our artistic expressions, the physical conditions that we live in vary enormously. To understand what makes the Arabs tick, you must understand the heat, the desert, the distances, the food, and so much more. Understanding the Dutch requires an understanding of their ambiguous relationship with the sea. To understand the other, we must understand each other's values, understand and appreciate them. Not only are we proud and privileged to participate in this week's event, but to also actively contribute to it. We would certainly hope that this is more than just a single event, but a visible demonstration of our intent and aim for a more lasting relationship with the Center of Humanities of the University of Utrecht and its leading ladies. Edward Said and Mahmoud Rabbani were both remarkable men. They died 10 years ago, within a year of one another. Both were born in Palestine, both were traumatized by the Nakba, both settled in the West while never forgetting their Arab-Palestinian roots. At the time of the 67 war, both were leading reasonably comfortable lives. Edward as a leading academic in the United States, and Mahmoud as a diplomat and businessman in the Netherlands. They never put the Middle East behind them and strove to have Palestinian rights recognized, each in their own respective ways, in their new adopted countries. Both men clarified to their audiences that the question of Palestine was never one of religion or ethnic groups, but an issue of land rights, of human rights, and the international recognition thereof. The aim of the Lutfi Rabbani Foundation is to promote mutual understanding and exchange between the Netherlands and the Middle East through culture, education, and dialogue. The conference that we are here in focuses on the role of culture in diplomacy and peacemaking, and we are proud to sponsor 20 highly motivated Palestinian and Dutch students to join this conference and take part in this specially designed Edward Said Study Week. We have matched and sponsored Palestinian students with 10 Dutch students from the Noor project, which is originated with Isaac, that the Lutfi Rabbani Foundation supports. This program was developed together with the Center of Humanities, and in this manner, 20 students can benefit from an academic exchange program at the highest level and therefore become future ambassadors for our cause. The voices of Edward Said and Mahmoud Rabbani were heard and respected in both their native and adopted homelands, and continue to be. Theirs was a lifelong quest for peace, to be achieved through promoting mutual understanding through culture and education. This is why the Foundation is so proud to be associated with this event, providing an opportunity to have the legacy of Edward Said reach an even wider audience and continue to the next generation. Thank you very much.